All right. You knew it would happen. You knew that the conspiracy theories would explode thanks to this raid at Mar-a-Lago that took place of the failed former president. And one of those conspiracy theories that is now spreading like wildfire is that the FBI planted evidence against Donald Trump. Now, is there any reason to believe the FBI planted evidence at Mar-a-Lago against Donald Trump? No. Is there any specific claim being made about what was planted? No. Do we have any reason to believe that the FBI planted evidence against Donald Trump? No. But that doesn't stop them on the right from saying it. The new Trump right-wing talking point is that evidence was planted. This suggests the reality is almost certainly that there was no evidence planted, and whatever was found at Mar-a-Lago is probably not very good for Donald Trump. Let's look at some examples. Here is Jesse Waters, an absolutely horrible person on Fox News. He says the FBI is probably planting evidence, and he goes even further and says they probably doctored the evidence to get the warrant in the first place.
How horrible is that?
They could have easily negotiated the return of documents like that without guns and warrants. What the FBI is probably doing is planting evidence, which is what they did during the Russia hoax. We also have a hunch they doctored evidence to get the warrant.
Well, a hunch. That sounds like it's Jesse Waters' feeling. What's that thing that those right-wingers always say? Something like, the facts don't care about your feelings. And there's a lot of feelings coming from Jesse Waters, but very few facts. Then Charlie Kirk interviewed Newt Gingrich. That's a match made in heaven. And again, make the suggestion that the FBI planted evidence at Mar-a-Lago. Do they have any justification for that claim? Absolutely none whatsoever. But they're all on the same page, at least as far as the talking points go.
You really are now seeing the ugly face of a tyranny. And the left is so desperate, so frightened. And you're watching Trump win. Again, apparently the last votes came in and his candidate beat another of the people who had voted to impeach him. So he's now, I think he's now defeated 7 of the 10 people
with a couple
that voted to impeach
That's
him.
right. Joe Kent.
And well, in one case, Kevin McCarthy talked him out of challenging Valadao because we wouldn't keep the seat. And I think Trump wisely said, okay, I'm going to give him a pass. The next big test, of course, will be Liz Cheney, who I suspect will lose by 20 or 30 points.
Yes.
And she's part of this. I mean, she is part of the effort to turn the system into basically a tyrannical, anti-conservative, anti-Republican, constant violation of the law, which is what the January 6th committee.
Now, none of that's true, but here's the key moment.
You have a fake committee being covered by the fake news with a fake FBI, which, by the way, you'll notice they didn't allow anybody on the Trump side into Mar-a-Lago. So we have no idea whether or not they planted evidence.
Yes, that's exactly right. And Newt, I have a couple thoughts. Number one,
they have no idea whether they planted evidence. Another way to say the same thing is we have absolutely no proof that they planted evidence. We have absolutely no empirical basis for claiming that they planted evidence. And what we do know is that everything about the execution of the search warrant was handled as it always is, arguably with even more discretion because of the sensitivity of the individual involved. One other example here. This is Trump lawyer Alina Habba. I don't know where all these lawyers come from. There's so many Trump lawyers. This is Trump lawyer Alina Habba. She goes on Fox News and she also floats the idea that the FBI planted evidence. There is no evidence that there was planted evidence.
This is a joke. This is memento. And quite honestly, I'm concerned that they may have planted something. You know, at this point, who knows? I don't trust the government. And that's a very frightening thing as an American. If I didn't want to be an American and go to another, this is third world stuff. We've heard it. This is Cuba. This is not our country.
Now, you know, the truth is, one of the problems with some of the countries they love to talk about as third world countries or banana republics or whatever term they love to use, one of the problems is that there is no accountability for people in positions of power and privilege. It distinguishes us, if indeed there are consequences to people in positions of power and privilege from those very countries. It makes us different because in those countries, you don't see accountability. Donald Trump also, by the way, floating this idea that evidence was planted. He went on his platform Truth Social and he said, quote, The FBI and others from the federal government would not let anyone, including my lawyers, be anywhere near the areas that were rummaged and otherwise looked at during the raid on Mar-a-Lago. Everyone was asked to leave the premises. They wanted to be left alone without any witnesses to see what they were doing, taking, or hopefully not planting. Why did they strongly insist on having nobody watching them, everybody out? Obama and Clinton were never raided, despite big disputes. Folks, not a shred of evidence presented that anything was planted. They will attack the FBI. They're already doing it, even though the FBI director was appointed by Donald Trump and Trump gushed about how great his credentials and honesty and everything was. They will attack the judge who signed the search warrant. I'm already seeing that this morning. They will attack the DOJ as a tool of Democratic President Joe Biden, even though the evidence is the White House wasn't even informed about this raid. They will attack Merrick Garland himself, which they're already doing. They will attack Joe Biden, which they're already doing. And they will talk about Hillary Clinton and Benghazi. They will talk about Hunter Biden's laptop. They will talk about Obama. I don't even know why they're talking about Obama. I don't understand why you would raid Obama. None of it makes any sense. And they are doing every single one of those things. Now, later on, we're going to look at a serious case of brain worms. The new thing is increasingly the next level conspiracy theory above and beyond evidence was planted is this is the beginning of a plot to assassinate Donald Trump. Now, if your plan is to assassinate Trump, I don't know why you need to serve a search warrant first. I don't know why you need to go through the trouble of legally obtaining the search warrant if your plan is to assassinate Trump. It doesn't pass the sniff test, but that has never mattered to them. So we will look at that a little bit later. If you're curious about some of these clips that we played during the segment, you can find all of them on our Instagram at David Pakman Show. Follow me on Instagram at david.pakman as well.